Good. Hey, I'm just curious. How do you kind of view running the deep ball? What's the most important part to that? And then kind of related to that, um, what's it like working with Jameis, just knowing he can stretch the field like that?
Yeah, obviously it's different. No disrespect to Drew, but a lot of those deep balls weren't really active. Not saying they weren't active, but you kind of knew like, all right, you might not get at this play. But with Jameis, it's always an option, considering the fact that he can throw the ball deep downfield. So just really always being alive, because you never know.
And I feel like I either heard him say he told you in the huddle he was coming that way, or maybe I saw a video where he told you that on the sideline or something like that. Did you kind of figure that was coming on that play? You just kind of had to be ready for it?
We knew once we was gonna run that play, depending on what coverage we got, to just definitely be alive. Obviously, I'm active no matter what, but once I saw that safety cut, I knew this the look that we was talking about. But yeah, he told me on the sideline like, just be ready. You never know.
Nick Underhill.
How beneficial was the work you guys put in just during the offseason at his house and some other places? And then even during camp, there were some places where he mentioned the timing was off and then I got there. Just how much time on task that goes into just being able to hit one of those?
Yeah, I mean, any extra work is always good. Obviously, we're gonna get our reps in practice, but for us to be able to go out and be in the same location during the off season and get the work in and get the timing down and get the routes that we want or get the concepts that we want, and just to be able to practice that so we can maximize it come training camp and then come the regular season.
Ron Walker.
Hey, Deonte, I know you got one punt return the other day, and I know they kicked two of them out of bounds, but how frustrating is that for you that, when the teams do that?
Yeah, nah, it's boring, considering that that's really how I started my career. Hopefully other teams don't have that same mindset where they're trying to kick it away. Hopefully they want their players to, try to make plays. So it's definitely frustrating and annoying, though.
Does it make you feel like you've earned your respect, though, the teams are doing that already in your career?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely feel like I earned my respect, but at the same time, I just, I want those guys to not respect me so that they kick me the ball.
Luke Johnson.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've had a chance to talk to you, I think, since training camp started. So how do you feel your game has evolved since you first got into the NFL? I mean, it seems like you worked your way up from being a return specialist to having a role in the offense, and this year it's kind of an even bigger role. So how do you feel like that's kind of all gone for you?
I think me just understanding the offense. I think the first year I really struggled. The second year I got into like a rhythm, but I was down because of injuries. But now, just being able to even work with Jameis and just understand why we do certain things, and Coach CJ obviously just talking to him in the off season and just just getting that extra mental work so that when I came in this year I could be ready to go.
I think I remember asking CJ about it, and he was like, in the first 2 years, like everybody wanted to get their hands on you, whether it was special teams or whatever. Have you been able to kind of focus more on the offensive side of things?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously I got to work at being able to catch punts and catch returns, but after the catch is just God-given ability. So for me to be able to focus and lock in on route concepts and just learning the offense, that definitely helped a lot.
Nick Underhill.
How are you guys handling this week without having CJ there in the meeting room and that?
It's just more adversity that we're going through. But we still talking to him every day. He's still texting us stuff, and we still FaceTiming him and just going over some of the stuff. So I mean, obviously we want our guy to be back and healthy, but
Was Curry spending some time? It looked like he was spending some time with you guys at practice. Is it just kind of all hands on deck, or is there just kind of like one guy that's working with you guys?
No, it's all hands on deck. So we usually just meet as receivers, and sometimes like after practice we'll meet with the quarterbacks. But it's been basically everybody but the offensive line now. We got Sean helping us with the install and stuff like that. So it's really just all hands on deck.
Mike Triplett.
Deonte, you just answered in your question a couple questions ago that your first year you really struggled on offense. I don't remember hearing you talk about that before. I know they did I know you were getting acclimated to everything, but were you having trouble adjusting to the offense at first?
It was just the terminology. The college I came from, we didn't have play calls like this. Everything was just signals, and so for me to come here and have to basically learn a playbook, a whole new playbook, and then try to learn the terminology and everything, it was difficult. It was difficult for me, considering where I came from. I wouldn't say the physical part was where I struggled. It was the mental part for me.
John DeShazer.
Deonte, how important was it for you to add that receiver element in the NFL? I mean, you could have been satisfied just being a good returner. How important was it for you to add that receiving element?
For me, it was a need. I didn't want to just be labeled as a returner. I felt as though my ability could be shown more with the ball in my hands, no matter on offense as well. So, I just wanted to help the offense whichever way possible, and I felt that I could just do more than just special teams.
Luke Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen you run some deep balls in the past, but has your role changed a little bit in this offense this year? Maybe a little bit less of the like jet sweep sort of thing, short passes, and kind of put more in a position where you can take the top off the defense more.
Yeah, so I got really a combination, and I think that's just them trusting me more. I think, and just trusting me being able to get open. So I think they just wanted to give me more and see how I handled it, and I think so far I've been handling it good. So I think as the more we go, or the further to go, the more they'll give me.
I think that's it. Appreciate your time, Deonte.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Be the answer. If somebody on your team had to be a two-way player, who would it be, playing both offense and defense?
Offense and defense?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't think any of the offensive players could play defense. So it's gonna have to be a defensive player that could play offense. And I would probably go. Chauncey might actually have the best chance. He might be a nice little slot receiver or something.
Does he have any history playing it, or you
I don't know. I'm just thinking off traits. Like Chauncey his ball security might be terrible though, but I think he might have the best shot.
Well, what about Taysom? I mean, obviously he was one of the first thoughts. But would he have a role on defense, or he has to stay on that side of the ball?
I think I'll keep him on offense because you put Taysom on defense, then it's like he does everything on offense. Then like, would Taysom play the 3 technique? Would he play corner, linebacker, safety? It's like I don't know. Maybe a safety. Is there any white safeties in the NFL?
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, we got Harrison. Shout out to Harrison. Shout out Heath. We got Weddle. Oh, we got a couple dudes. Never mind. Taysom might be able to play safety.
All right, I got it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
John DeShazer.
Now, Mike's got everybody all riled up. Alvin, why can't you play defense?
Yeah, I might. The tackling thing, like y'all saw me try to make a tackle on Sunday when the old boy picked the ball off in the end zone. It ain't really work. Like I got one shot, and if I miss, then I don't know. I don't think I got too much time to be chasing people down. Like I'm not chasing me. I'm not chasing Shorty B. I'm not chasing those guys. I don't want to.
Luke Johnson.
Hey, Alvin, maybe you won't even have an answer to this, but I'll try anyways. With just the threat that Jameis presents, throwing that deep ball like the one he connected on with Deonte the other day, do you think that could help create space for the rest of you guys to operate, just with defenses having to know that's there?
Yeah, of course. I mean, anytime you got a quarterback that can push the ball down the field, I mean, defenses have to be aware of that. I mean, it opens up a lot, create some space for us to navigate underneath and get the running game going, and it just provides another option. And then, Jameis, anytime he get an opportunity to throw deep, he itching for it. But I mean, obviously all within the framework of the game plan. But I mean, it's lovely to have that, and then our defense loves it. Just his ability to be able to do that, just get points on the board and push stretch the field, and I mean, it's great to have.
Does that change things for you when you're running those wheel routes? You gotta keep running a little bit.
Oh yeah, I gotta keep going because James might just launch that thing up. So good for me. At the same time, I gotta be conscious. Like, yo, he might really throw this.
Nick Underhill?
What's the impact of just being down a couple of coaches this week, and does it make anything harder, or is it just kind of business as usual?
I mean, nothing. Time don't stop for no man. So obviously, with them being out, I think the coaches are more stressed than us. The coaches that are out. JTL, Rosa, a couple guys out. Them dudes like they on my line, like trying to make sure we good. And I don't know. I think, of course, we miss them at practice, but we got to keep moving. They're doing what they can to kind of keep us dialed in or keep themselves sane. Talking to us and making sure we on point with everything. But the show goes on. It's like next man up. Streef in there doing his thing, Bushrod, RC, DJ. Those guys stepping up and coaching. I'm just keeping it moving. We gotta keep it moving.
John DeShazer?
Alvin, we've seen a lot about what you do as a businessman. What made you decide to expand so much as a businessman, I guess, this early in your career?
Man, I think I just had that. I've always had that itch from when I was younger, just curious about it and just wanted to explore different avenues and different, ways to, not only create revenue, but just, impact community, impact other people, impact other people's lives, impact other people's families, and, just give opportunity. So, I think that's really the main thing on my mind, just giving people opportunities that they didn't think they would have or couldn't imagine. So, it's like right now I'm just thinking, my mind is going about 100 miles per hour just thinking about all the stuff that I'm doing right now and then thinking about doing and might have up in the air. But it's incredible what you can do when you put your mind to it. So I think that I've been blessed in that area to kind of just go with where my heart wants to go and kind of try to branch out and do the things that I felt like may not have been attainable when I was young, but I'm like, man, shoot my shot and go for it, and hopefully it stick. If not, we go back to the drawing board and try to draw it back up and make it work. So,
Luke Johnson?
Alvin, it seems like the last couple of years y'all have had to kind of deal with injuries, attrition on the offensive line. It never seems like that unit misses a beat. What do you think is kind of behind that?
I feel like we got the best O-line in the NFL. So those guys, I think all of them are always ready, no matter what. First game, Eric goes down and Cesar just hops in and he goes to center like he's been playing center all camp. Like, he hasn't taken a snap at center since last year. You know what I'm saying? But he comes in and doesn't miss a beat. Guys moving around. Shoot, all those guys can play up and down the line. Maybe not Teron, because we were talking about him playing right tackle today, and he ain't like that. But those guys kind of take pride in being able to adjust and go with things on the fly. They're the foundation. We were talking about. I think me and Teron and a couple guys were talking about it today. The O-line is the foundation of our offense. So without them, it's kind of you don't really got nothing.
Jeff Nowak?
Hey, Alvin. So it seems kind of crazy, but it's been since 2019 since y'all faced Christian McCaffrey in a football game. I just wonder, when you come to those matchups with these superstar running backs, is there any extra juice just kind of, flowing on that regard?
Not really, other than, we cool. Obviously, me and Christian know each other. And, I think I always get this question about, running backs in the league and other running backs who I think's the best and all this. But, it's just honestly respect. I don't want to see him do good against us, obviously, because I want to win. But I love and respect Christian's game. Just coming. We both came in the same class. He does some incredible things. So, hopefully I can lend the ear to the defense on how to stop him, and it worked. But I don't think it's really. I'm not really in competition with Christian when we're playing against him. I'm watching him. If he has a good play, I'm like running down to the defensive side, like, y'all can't let him do this. But he's a great player, elite player. He's gonna make some plays. But I'm just hopefully I do what I got to do. I ain't too worried about what he's doing. Great player though.
Appreciate your time, Alvin. Thank you.
For sure. Yep.
natural center, but making that switch mid-game last week, was there any challenge to that? It looked pretty seamless and easy for you to do.
It was easier than I thought it was going to be. But, it just, it wasn't really time for me to think about it. It was just, hey, next play, go in there at center and just had to do what I had to do.
How much, like, I don't know, how much that changed things for you, and just, you just mentioned it was easier than you thought. Why did you think it would be difficult to do that?
I wouldn't necessarily think it'd be difficult. It was just, I hadn't played center in like a year, so I haven't done it in about a year. So I was just seeing like, I hadn't done it, so like I wondered what was going to come up and what didn't. But everything, all my rules transferred over. I was told by my coach always, even during camp, just make sure I know my center stuff in an event like this. So, I was just prepared.
Deonte Cesar.
Cesar, how much work had you had at center during camp, and I guess during the game, how many snaps did it take you to kind of snap back into it?
I didn't have any center reps in camp. And in the game, it was just like the first play. Really, I was just had to get back into it. Probably didn't really take like had to work some things out. I was like, hey, just go do what you gotta do.
Do you think that might have been best for you to not be able to, I guess, think about it, just kind of have to go in and do it?
Yeah, because especially in a game like that, and in a situation like that, the last thing you want to do is come into a situation and think too much, especially in a situation like that. So I was just like, hey, let's do it. We got to go. I ain't thinking about it. I just got to do my job.
Luke Johnson.
Yes, it kind of related to that. Like, what's kind of going through your mind as you're working through those like 5 or 6 practice snaps of Jameis before that first play?
Believe it or not, it was the official only gave me one, but it was one was enough. It was enough. So what was really going through my mind, it wasn't. It was just I don't even know. It was like, let's go. Really, that's all it was. Really, it was like, hey, I'm not thinking about none, but just playing football right now, man. I got to do my job. I moved over, and the only thing that was going through my head is, let's go, let's do this.
So when you're doing that, I mean, you got to obviously focus on the snap, but like your job also changes a little bit, right? You have to like, I'm sure you took on some of the calling out protections and stuff like that. So like, where does your focus go? Is it like first a snap and then like thinking about what you do? How does that work?
So, I mean, y'all know I've been snapping the football for a long, long time. So snapping is just muscle memory at this point. It's just natural. Really, just my main responsibility was just making sure my IDs for the protections and plays were correct.
Jeff Nowak.
Yeah, Luke kind of asked what I was about to ask, but so obviously with the speed with which you made that transition, it seems like that was kind of a plan, kind of set forth in advance. Is that transition like based off after a quick injury like that? Is that something y'all have worked on throughout camp? Just if Eric goes down, that's the plan.
So yeah, that was just beginning of the week. That's what coach told me. O-line coach Nuge told me, he said, just be ready to play center in case. God forbid anything happens or an event that something happens to Eric, you're going in at center. So I just knew that in the back of my head that something had happened, I'd have to go in. So it wasn't like surprise, like you have to go play center. It was like, all right, I knew if something happened to Eric, I had to go in.
Rod Walker.
Hey, was Eric in your ear a lot during the game, or did he give you any pointers or even since the game or anything? How much have you leaned on him?
So this week, really just been me, talking to Eric as much as I can, getting as much out of Eric as I can. But really during the game, Eric was in the locker room, so it was really just me just talking to the guys up front, and just making adjustments there, seeing if everything was still cool, how we were doing, and just stuff like that. If there was anything they wanted me to change or fix, anything was a little off, but we were all good. So.
Luke Johnson.
Yeah, I actually forgot my question. I was listening to that answer, so I'm all good.
Jeff Noah.
So I guess, where do things go from here? Do you continue working at center? Do you work split between guard and center, for when, as you go forward throughout the season? What's the next step there?
I'm just gonna do whatever I'm told to do really. If it's pop back out at guard, going at center, It's whatever Hayes sees, what we want you to do. That's what I'm gonna do.
Luke Johnson.
All right, thanks. I remembered now. Hey, I'm just curious what it was like going through that kind of mindset shift where like you spent your entire offseason focusing on guard, and then you spent your entire training camp playing guard, and then literally 5 plays into the season, you're right back at center. Like what was that mindset change like, or mindset change?
Yeah, I mean, my goal was, ultimately to improve overall as a football player, but overall as a guard as well. So I was just ready to, just go out there and, put my hard work to show at guard, everything I did, to see how much I improved. And before you know it, I'm right back at center. So it was, after the game, it was it was a little laugh we had between us, our teammates and stuff, a little laugh we had. But, ultimately though, it was just, just out there just having fun, really.
Last one here, John DeShazier.
Cesar, did all that guard preparation help you on Sunday, and if so, how?
Yes, it did. Really just understanding the guard's assignment. I know my assignment, so going back to center, I know what to tell the guards on different combinations and things like that. So it wasn't like, I had to sit there and think too much. It was like, hey, this is what I do on this play, so this is what I'm gonna tell them to do. Like, it's just the rules carried over. As far as technique-wise, it was, it's obviously different playing center than guard, but, a lot of stuff carried over as well. So it was really just it's a quick transition, and I just ran with it.
I think that's it for today. Thanks, Cesar.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.